The Sacramento Kings were taking care of business.
That's 4 in a row.
Taking care of business.
Levine stole the show.
Taking care of business.
To Denver we go.
Taking care of business. Let's make that beam glow.
Let's freaking go, boys.
We go 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
4-piece.
3 on the road.
Little 4-piece.
Light
Welcome
work.
back to the Kang Gang Pod. This is episode number 38. The Sacramento Kings just trampled the Dallas Mavericks 122-98. We kept the Dallas Mavericks under 100 points. Before we get into it, we just have to say prayers up to Kyrie Irving. You hate to see a star player go down in that fashion, but you got to give it up to him for shooting those 2 free throws. That was Kobe
Mamba mentality.
Dude, that was amazing to see. But going into this game, Doug Christie, he has this new mantra, which is like, it's a faceless opponent. It doesn't matter if they're the best team, doesn't matter if they're the worst team, doesn't matter if guys are injured, doesn't matter who you're playing. He just wants the guys to be consistent, and that's what we did tonight. And that's how we've been playing post All-Star break, minus the first game. But yeah, we're 4 in a row, boys. We're tied for the 7th seed.
Yep.
Let's go.
How many times have we seen a Kings team lose the games that we're supposed to win? You know, old Kings teams in the past would just let the Dallas team like this come back, and we're not used to taking care of business, but that's what we did tonight. We took care of business. We won 4 in a row, tied for the 7th seed.
Yep, and then a half game back for 6.
And a half game back for 6.
Yeah, we're half game back from the Warriors. We're tied with the Clippers right now.
Yep.
So this is huge. This is huge momentum right now.
Huge.
If we could carry this in, go 4 in a row on the road, that would be a major success for this road trip.
We already completed our thing was going above 500 on the road trip. So, I mean, that's a massive win for sure. But if we can somehow steal Wednesday in Denver against a really, really good Denver team, my God, the momentum
biggest win of the year. Biggest win of the year.
The biggest game of the year for
I think
sure.
it would be bigger than the Boston win for sure this year.
Easily. So right now we're sitting at 32-28. So we're 4 games over 500, which is the best of the season. We have not been 4 games over 500 yet.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
That is a crazy just to think about. That's just kind of how our season's been. Yeah, I was looking back from each game from the very beginning of the season, and we never had, I think the most we were 2 games over 500. But now we're 4, which is insane. So let's dive into this game. It was backtracking to the previous game, we started this game very hot as well. Like,
yep.
I don't know what was gone into this team now, but we know how to start very well in the first quarter. I think we were 5 for 6. So that was a great start. Yep. What did you guys see?
Levine's comfortable. Levine's making contested shots. Keegan Murray looks like his old self. I think our offense is just flowing really well. I think Monk is finding Levine, and it seems like our whole offense is gravitating toward Levine when he's hot. He's obviously our best shot maker. He makes the hardest shots on the team. And in that first quarter, I think the last couple of games, I feel like the offense just looks comfortable. Everyone knows their spots. I feel like it was hard to incorporate Levine in his play style, but it looks like he's comfortable. It looks like he's the Chicago Bulls Levine that torches us for 30, 40 points. And we started out good and our offense was flowing, and I think the confidence just kind of grew from there.
I think the biggest thing too, I want to give a shout out to Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, that first quarter, it looked like he could get to a spot. He
just couldn't go in.
No, I know,
yeah,
but like the first 3 shots, the first 3 shots, they were all going in. Mm-hmm. But throughout the entire game, it just looked like every spot he got to was very comfortable. Obviously, most of it didn't go in. Obviously, if there was like 4 or 5 shots that would have went in, he would have had 20 plus easily.
Oh,
but
yeah.
20 plus easily. But, the production that you see from Jonas Valanciunas with Sabonis being out is such more value. I'm seeing people weren't the biggest fans of the Jonas trade at first, but
wait, who? Call him out.
Yeah, call him out right now. We gave out Kobe Jones.
No, call him out right now.
No, because
call him out by name.
No.
That is ridiculous.
I'm not going to call him out. I'm not going to call him out because he's a very.
They don't know ball.
I mean,
just say it.
I love Jack the Kings fan. He was the most critical. He was the most critical.
We got it out of him.
We love Jack.
Yeah, we love Jack. We love Jack. But,
Jack is incredible.
But he brought very good points. And then now that Sabonis is out, Jonas Valanciunas has been the biggest player that stepped up for this team
for sure.
In the last 2 games, I think that you can just easily see that, and he looks better as a rim protector too. Throughout the entire game, the entire game, I was very impressed. I was like, dang, Jonas, you can like protect the rim. I was like, damn.
He's had 6 blocks in the past 2 games.
That's
so he's going crazy right now.
Just the fact that Jonas Valanciunas is stepping up. I mean, this guy has played over 200 plus games as a starter before coming off the bench in Washington and coming off the bench in Sacramento. So this guy knows how to start games and be an NBA starter.
This is nothing new to him.
It's nothing new.
And he has all the support from the main big, Domantas Sabonis. They're Lithuanian brothers, so he's out there on the bench cheering for him. He's like reacting like crazy when he's missing these like bunnies that he should be making. He went 6 for 15 tonight. If he like, and all those shots, like those are shots that he's like used to making. So yeah, on a good night like the previous game, we saw what could happen. Imagine if those shots went in. We would have won this game by 50 points.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's on the last pod. That's a definition of a pro's pro. That's a definition of staying ready. Like RT said, Jonas has been a starter the majority of his career. He easily could have taken that bench role behind Domas and just pouted and not, had as much energy or not be as motivated. And look what happens. Domas goes out and Jonas looks like the starter he's always looked. He didn't take a step back. He didn't, quiver, and he's showing that he's a veteran and a pro's pro. And I think that elevates the young guys as well, seeing someone like Jonas be an enforcer and step up in Domas's absence.
If anything, he's taking 2 steps forward. That's like really what Jonas is doing right now, is the impact that he's doing on both sides of the floor. Because obviously when he was playing his first couple games, we didn't really see that impact defensively. But now, these last 2 games, especially in Houston and Dallas, he's really stepped up in terms of being a guy that can really just hold his own defensively. I mean, shot blocking, being a rim protector, and just grabbing defensive rebounds. And on the other side, just positioning Kai Jones. He looked like he put Kai Jones in trouble tonight. It was like barbecue chicken for him tonight.
Kai
was their lead scorer.
Went off.
All his points were off like athletic putbacks.
Yeah, athletic, but defensively, Kai Jones was having trouble with Jonas the majority of the game.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's also good to see Jonas stepping out, hitting some mid-range shots too. Mm-hmm. It's great to see because that's what he was killing us with when he was playing for the Pelicans. It's good to see him comfortable shooting the ball, but
yeah, this season would be over if we didn't make that trade and this injury happened. Our season would literally be over. Because left Trey Lyles, but our season would be over.
Because you can't. Yeah, we can't.
We're starting him at the 5. That saved our season for sure.
I also want to give a shout out to the front office for signing Skal Labissière to a 10-day contract. This is his 4th stint with the Sacramento Kings, 4 separate times. But that just shows that when Jonas is out, he wants to have another big there, just in case. Obviously Trey or Isaac Jones will step into that position, but having a guy like Skal, you could just see his verticality. Like that
he
guy
knows the system too.
No,
playing with Stockton and obviously the stints with the Kings. So yeah, he knows the system well.
It's been a 10-year grind for Skal Labissière. So I'm just excited for him. He's had 4 different jersey numbers. Shouts out Miguel for getting that number 25, paying homage to Alex Len to get that number 25 on there right before landing in Dallas tonight. But yeah, I think player of the game tonight is none other than Keegan Murray.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Doug McDermott, but
Doug is the definition of staying ready. Yeah. Staying ready.
No, I like that take, Keegan Murray.
No, yeah, but sure. Keegan Murray. I mean, on the last pod, Johnny was saying that I think Keegan Murray is going to have the breakout. Is going to have a breakout game, and that's what's going to propel us forward. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't just doing it on the offensive end; he was doing it on the defensive end. He had 2 huge charges, like almost back to back. He went 4 from 8 from 3. That's the type of Keegan, efficiency that we were accustomed to in his rookie year. So it's finally great to see that again, especially on the road in very, very important games. So what do you guys see from the guy who smiles more than anyone, Keegan Murray?
I'll say this: during this 4-game winning streak, his numbers look like he is back to himself. He's averaging 16.7 points per game in that 4-game winning streak, shooting 43% from the free point line. So that's pretty impressive, and he's also
runner-up for Western Conference Player of the Week.
Yeah, that is for sure. He's getting it done. So, and he's also rebounding really well. He's doing all the right things. Obviously, you saw tonight he took 2 really big charges. So, I think what Keegan Murray is doing, I think that he's just letting the flow of the offense. He looked like he was struggling a little bit during the early parts of the season, but now he's looked like he's really stepped up. So it's happy to see Keegan Murray be back to his normal self. I'm happy to say that he's back to his normal self. So Obviously, not going to knock on wood because I feel pretty confident that Keegan is back. So,
do you think this is going to last the remainder of the season?
I think so. So, obviously, they talked about it in the broadcast today that Katie Christensen said. So, one thing was if he can get to 35% as a free-point shooter again by the end of the season, I think it's a successful season. So, especially with the way that he started off the season too.
Low 30s, right?
Yeah.
Or was it like
under 29. So, it was like 29%. Yeah, so 29% to start. Like in November and December. So having him be back to that 35% shooter after having a huge slump to start the season, I think is incredibly massive.
Yeah, and I said last pod, I thought he just barely missed 20, but it was a blowout. If it was a closer game, he definitely want to have that 25 like I predicted. But he just looks comfortable. His jump shot looks so comfortable. It looks like he's finding his spots. And I knew he was going to figure it out. He's been in so many, he had his best player left, right? He had to figure out his role already with DeRozan coming in. Then Fox leaves. He has to figure out his role again. So, man, I'm just, obviously he's a pro athlete, but like it sucks because it's like you want him to kind of ease in a little bit easier, but it just takes a little bit. But, he played different roles in college as well, so I knew he'd figure it out. And it just looks like he's playing with LaVine really well. He's playing off Monk really well, too. But, yeah, he just looks confident. His jump shot looks confident again.
And it looks like he's like actually looking to score now.
For sure.
And I love this when this happens, when it's like a fast break, someone gets the rebound or he gets the rebound, he just pushes it. Mm-hmm. And when he digs the shoulder into Najee Marshall, he digged it into someone else, but he was just, Keegan doesn't have it in him to do this.
He was a little bro.
But I'm telling you got to put the hand low. When Keegan did it twice today, coast to coast, and he was just bowling the guy in front of him. And that's the type of Keegan that we know that he's capable of. And yeah, the fact that he's able to play with a guy like LaVine, who is just a killer on offense. Like you saw it tonight. Like when he gets the ball, he had this one play that it was amazing. He pump faked in the corner. I forgot who was guarding him. Flew by him, and then he lets him come back. Does a quick little step back right in his face. I'm like, dude. Like normally, like when a guy blows by, like you'll shoot it, right? Because you have that, that extra space. But he let him come back. Then he did his move on him and then scored. I'm like, dude,
he's so twitchy. Like he's so twitchy, but it's just such efficient movements from him.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like DeRozan, just like a different kind of play style. DeRozan's obviously a little bit more slower, gets to his spots, but LaVine and DeRozan both are just scorers that know how to get to their spots.
That's exactly what it is. They know their moves. They know how they're going to get open. And they know what is going to, how their defender's going to react. And then, I was very, very impressed by Zach LaVine. Yeah. He shot very well. Yeah, he shot 8 for 12 tonight. So, he was very efficient again. So,
and I think that opens up a lot more things for Keegan, too, because obviously Fox's shot was improving when he was with us, but defenders would still kind of sag off him a little bit, right? Especially this season when his shot wasn't going in as much as last year. So I think that kind of ties into Keegan's success as well. It's kind of the focus on LaVine being a jump shooter, being a three-point threat, kind of giving defensive sagging off Keegan a lot more.
I mean, those three guys, like you just mentioned, DeRozan, LaVine, and Keegan, they all scored in double figures by half.
Yeah, those were the three leading scorers for tonight's game.
And
they all score in different ways, which is just so
incredible. Exactly. And I think that just what makes our offense look very multi-dimensional right now. I think that just really shows that our offense really is starting to really hit its peak at the right time, too.
I'd be curious to see our stats this season, or Keegan Murray stats this season playing with Fox versus playing with LaVine. That would be a curious
Obviously, it's a smaller sample size. I'm curious,
Definitely curious to see the shooting numbers. But yeah, it's just good to see him back.
I know, and I noticed that Keegan, he was shooting like with the defender right in front of him. Same with LaVine. Like he's just like, I don't care who's in front of me. LaVine did it just.
Well, he probably sees LaVine make those shots.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
A couple inches taller, maybe an inch taller than LaVine.
But Zach literally has the guy like arm into his face, and he just pulls up. And it's a beautiful release. One more thing about Keegan. Before Kyrie went out, he had the Kyrie assignment. We were talking about who's going to guard Kyrie because that was the guy that we were worried about going into tonight's game. But he played excellent defense on Kyrie in the beginning of the game. Even when he gets switched on different defenders, he just stands his ground against anyone. So Keegan Murray, I think he was definitely player of the game. Let's talk about Keon Ellis because that guy went scoreless tonight, and he's normally our leading point scorer off the bench. But going scoreless tonight, what did you see from Keon that showed his impact when he wasn't seeing his three-pointer going?
I mean, it's easy.
It's an easy answer. It's an easy answer. Talk about it.
It's his defense.
Ball pressure.
Yeah, ball pressure. Just being a guy that just makes the extra pass, just being in flow with the offense. There was a play at the end of the third quarter where he just makes this athletic jump for a steal and goes almost full court to get a three off. Obviously, he didn't make it, but just his impact on defense. I mean, I don't need to say much more. I mean, the defense...
It's just incredible.
It's incredible.
It's just incredible
It's so underrated to see that. I mean, obviously, he did have 4 fouls tonight, but he was still shooting the ball well. I mean, he was 0 for 7 and then 0 for 6 with 3. So he's...
Oh, that's messed up.
No. Whoa! Let me. But I'm saying, but what I meant was to say was
like the form looked
good. No, the form looked good. No, I'm just saying
they're good shots.
I'm just saying good shots. Yeah, they're good shots.
They're just a lid for Keon.
Yeah, and the shots did look good. Obviously, it doesn't translate in result.
Right.
But like,
there's a Pyrex lid on top of it.
When he shoots and misses, he's not forcing them.
No,
he wasn't taking bad shots.
No, there was 0 bad shots.
We were just making a joke.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm all good, but I'm all good. I mean, we're good. We good in the hood.
But 4 fouls is definitely unlike Keon. But I mean, when you play as aggressive as he does, it's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Did he have any steals tonight?
I think
that was the one. Blocks. Well, he had a steal in the third quarter.
No, it said no steals.
Oh,
maybe
really?
Maybe it was a deflection.
Yeah, I think
it was deflection.
2 blocks.
Oh, he had 2 blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That probably must be what it was then.
Malik Monk gave us a scare earlier in this game. He went out early, went straight to the locker room. I'm like, great. It's just something's in there. Kyrie, then Malik, and then it was Jaden Hardy. It was everyone was. I was like, dude, Dallas is cursed. We got to get this win and get out of here.
Everybody was banged up.
But thank God, Miguel, just gave him a nice little pep talk in the locker room. and got him ready to come back. But
if anyone that's watching has connections to Miguel, the trainer,
please let us know.
We need him. Let him know we love him. We're probably the biggest media outlet that shouts him out. Miguel, the trainer. Anyone knows him?
No, he's not the trainer. He's the equipment manager.
Miguel, the equipment manager. Sorry,
he's like the CEO of the locker room. You cannot downplay him.
I thought he had many hats. I thought he was a trainer too. We love Miguel. Love you, Miguel.
He's Monty's right hand man as well.
Yeah.
He does everything. So the Kings shot 16 for 34 from the 3-pointers tonight. How do you think we did free throw percentage wise? Do you guys have a guess?
I'm gonna say
higher or lower than 90%?
Higher.
Lower?
100%. We went 12 for 12 tonight. We went 12 for 12 tonight.
Bang.
And the best statistic of the night, the most important statistic.
Oh, I love this.
Doug McDermott 2 threes.
Doug McDermott. No, it's actually that Scalabissiere locks the minutes. No.
Scalabissiere number 25.
Yeah. The biggest, most important stat of the night is that the Sacramento Kings only had 7 turnovers tonight.
Bang.
That's huge.
That's taking care of business.
Taking care of business.
Only 7 turnovers.
Taking care of business.
We held on to the ball.
That was
care
huge.
Of business.
And that's how you win games. When you have multiple,
I agree.
You lose possessions when you turn over the ball, obviously, and we didn't do that.
And that
much as we
also leads to points too. That leads off to points off turnovers tonight. So
I know. So we really did take care of business.
We really did. We took care of the ball. This was the best we looked taking care of the ball.
Can we talk about that third quarter?
Yeah, let's talk about the third quarter.
Woo! The Dallas Mavericks, they went 7 minutes without scoring a field goal, and during that time is when we ballooned the lead to over 30 points. Whew. The largest lead tonight, 32 points.
Yep.
I bet you the coaching staff is just thrilled, with a game like this,
My God.
You never know how you're going to go out against a team that's obviously, filtered with, filter's not the word, but just covered with injuries. Everyone has just so many injuries on that team. So to come out here and just do what we needed to do on the road, it just makes it easier. The guys don't have to play any heavy minutes in the fourth quarter. We got, Doug McDermott getting minutes. He probably hasn't played a game in over 10 games. Isaac Jones got some run. Scalabissiere. So it was good to, let the guys rest and focus on the biggest game of the season, which is against the Denver Nuggets and that low altitude. Whew, it's going to be a tough one. But I have one other crazy stat for you guys from tonight's game. The Sacramento Kings are now 13-4 when Keon Ellis plays 27 minutes or more.
Wow.
So, even when he played 27 minutes tonight, he doesn't score. It's just all-out effort on defense, and that it translates to wins. Keon Ellis is a difference maker.
He's a winning player.
Okay, so we've had this conversation before about starting lineup. How are you guys feeling about the starting lineup now? Because 2 games in a row where we're just playing amazing, and we're not getting into those deep holes where we're down by 15 in the first quarter. We're actually the ones taking the leads. It's a small sample size in the past 2 games, but
I love a starting lineup now.
You guys want to? We're staying with it now.
I think we're staying with it.
This is solid.
After seeing the starts tonight and the start last game against Houston as well, and I think Keon coming off the bench, when the other team puts their bench in, you kind of see them step off the gas pedal a little bit. Keon says, "F that. I'm coming in. I'm coming in hard." Pause. But he's the spark we needed off the bench, and Doug Christie loves playing a guy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because tonight when Keon was the first guy off the bench, he took over Malik's spot, which is very interesting.
Seems like it's either Malik or Levine.
It's Malik or Levine. It's
Malik or Levine, yeah. And so tonight they were trying out, okay, let's have Monk come off, be the first guy to come on the bench, and just have Keon take over. So I was like, that's interesting. And then that also like really helped balloon our lead up too. So I really do like that Levine and DeRozan are playing together. I think that's definitely the two that we all had discussions. I think that Monk should be the first one to be subbed in.
But Levine has shown he can be the main ball handler on the team.
I agree,
and he looks comfortable in our offense now to do it. So
I agree.
So when we do have to take out Monk early, I like Levine running our offense with Keon being our main defender. For sure.
I agree.
Well said, Arthur.
I think Keon also can bring up the ball too.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Him or Levine can start a fast break and bring the ball.
Exactly.
Talking about wearing a lot of hats, Keon Ellis wears every hat.
He's the Lids manager. He's got to be. Got to be the manager at Lids. His pigtails are fire, though.
Dude, there needs to be a stat about Keon Ellis when he's wearing pigtails.
I know.
Because I don't think I mean, at least on this road trip, we haven't lost when he's had pigtails.
Yeah.
We need Willsy stats or, Jack the TikTok guy or someone to pull that stat for us. But
come on the pod, too. That would be helpful, too.
Yeah, that would be crazy. So, going into Wednesday's game against Denver.
Man.
It's noted, it's been reported that Domantas Sabonis will be reevaluated in 1 week, but it looks like if you look up, a hamstring strain, it's typically like a 2 to 3 week, recovery if it's a grade 1. So, with 2 to 3 weeks of no Sabonis, how do you think first, let's talk about the Denver game. How do you think Valanciunas is going to match up against Jokic? I think he's going to have to play way more minutes. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to really stagger because you're not going to go small against... You can't go Trey Lyles on Jokic.
Or DeAndre Jordan either.
So I'm really nervous now that Sabonis is out for that game. Like, you need like 2 guys, who are going to get in foul trouble, because...
Right. You can't really go small ball either.
You cannot let J-Val get quick fouls because then Jokic is just going to torch us down there. Right. So that's what I've been thinking about
the
this Domas injury.
JV's a vet. He's guarded Jokic many times in this league. We have 2 games without Domas that our offense has to gel. Obviously, JV's going to play 30 minutes, but that'll be the key. Is to not get him in foul trouble. And the good part is he's a vet and he's used to guarding Jokic, so it's not anything new to him.
That's a good point. I mean, it's not like it's his first rodeo.
It's definitely not.
I haven't thought of it like that. I'm just thinking about it like in this new Kings era where it's like it's foreign territory to us.
But it looks like JV's taking this role and he's like, I'm just going to play how I've always done with Memphis, New Orleans, Toronto. He looks like the same player. And I hope that carries over. It's looked good the last 2 games, so I hope it carries over on Wednesday. But that'll be the key is foul trouble because we're obviously thin on. Because
I think he's capable of guarding him. I mean, like
definitely.
Because Jokic doesn't really struggle against anyone, but having like a huge body like Jonas, like I think he can at least make it hard for him. He just needs to be careful with the fouls because we saw it against, was it Sengun or some other big he went up against? He was hacking. So I'm just worried that he might get a little too handsy against Jokic. But I'm trying to think, if Valanciunas gets into foul trouble early, who are you bringing off the bench?
It's hard. I mean...
Are you bringing in Scal? Is Scal the first off the bench?
I don't think Scal would be ready. I just feel like Trey Lyles just has to be the guy. Because you can go into a 5-out offense and really put pressure on DeAndre Jordan to contain Lyles at the perimeter on offense. So, I mean, it's tough, but it's a very difficult decision. Are you going to give up defense to really strengthen your offense against this Denver defense? Because that Denver team, they have wings that are very capable. Julian Strother, Christian Brown. Yeah. I mean, those are guys that...
Even Zeke Najee's been stepping up for them, too.
Right, exactly. So... you almost kind of have to look at this as like you need. And then Aaron Gordon, we don't know what Aaron Gordon's status is for this game. He was out with an ankle injury on Sunday, so
he's been banged up.
He's been banged up, so I'm not quite 100% sure what it's going to be. So
all I know is Denver wants this win because the Lakers took their spot at the 2 seed. So I know Denver wants this one bad.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys want to hear an interesting stat?
Tell me.
Jokic has averaged 33.7 points, 13.6 rebounds, and almost 12 assists in his last 10 games against Jonas Valanciunas. So to say Jonas has an assignment,
we were just talking about how he's been there before. Well, now we know he's struggled there before.
Jokic dominates everybody, though. That's the thing. Jokic dominates everybody.
And Jonas has won 8 out of the 20 times. So I mean, they're pretty even as far as like who's won that matchup. Jokic is going to go off against anybody.
That's
He's
true.
He's going to go off against Rudy Gobert.
He goes off against Sabonis. He goes off against anyone. It's the other guys.
It's going to be a team effort, though. It's going to be a team effort because we know Denver's not an ISO team, right? They like to give it to Jokic in the post, in the high post, and then have people cut, and like to get other people get hot. So it's going to be a team defensive win if we do end up winning the game, I think.
Speaking of team defensive win, I think this is going to be... all eyes are going to be on DeMar and Zach, how they're defending that night, because we know what Keegan's going to do. We know what Keon's going to do. Those two guys, because they're going to have the defensive matchups of Christian Brown and
Michael Porter
MPJ, maybe even a Westbrook type player.
Westbrook, yeah.
And those guys cut. And so, we cannot get, those easy backdoors that they always get against us. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm worried about, is just because sometimes, our boys, they get a little lackadaisical on defense, and I'm just
the back cuts are
the back cuts. Yep. Yeah, so I think keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on that.
I'm surprised you guys didn't bring up this person's name, but I'm
McGill. Okay,
no. From Denver, Jamal Murray, like the Robin to all of Jokic, right?
He does go off against us.
He is a quiet Kings killer.
He's like a step below.
Yeah, he's a step below. He's not like the true Kings killer, but if he has a 40-point game, he might enter himself in that top 10 conversation of Kings killers. So, I mean, you can't let Jamal Murray get hot, because Jamal Murray, when he is on, and we've seen it time and time again during the championship run 2 years ago and in the bubble in the playoffs, there are moments where Jamal Murray, when he gets it going, nobody can stop him. So you gotta, like I've said the last couple of games, I think it comes down to the guard play. As much as I think that Jokic is an incredible player, the way that you neutralize Jokic is you do not let him be a playmaker. You only allow him to score. Allow him to 30 points, but don't let him get anything above 10 to 13 assists, because
I think he'll get 10 easy. We can't let him go above 13.
But that's the thing, though. When he's passing and dishing it out, players are getting into a rhythm. That's the whole thing about Jokic's game, is that he allows players to get into a rhythm besides himself. Everybody, and it's in him too.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be a team effort. It's got to be a team defensive effort. We got to be physical with Jokic. We know JV is going to be physical with them, but we also have to be physical with MPJ and Jamal Murray, and a lot of it's going to be Monk stepping up on defense, Keegan Murray stepping up on defense. Exactly, everyone's got to step up.
They have some good shooters on their team. We didn't foul a 3-point shooter tonight.
Yeah,
we can't.
I have a feeling it's going to be a Monk Jamal Murray shootout. For sure.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be among... And they always go at each other.
I agree.
They're going to have
to. Two Kentucky guys.
Monk's going to have to go after him.
Monk was there the year after Jamal Murray, right?
I agree.
So it's going to have to be a big Monk game, I think, if we have to win this game.
Well, we need to win this game. We need to keep this streak going, because these games are so important right now.
We need that 5-piece.
I would do anything for a 5-piece chicken wing right now.
I would do anything.
RT, talk to me about...
Oh, God.
We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. Talk to me about Malik having the Jamal assignment for that game.
Well, I don't know if...
Well, in the beginning.
In the beginning, it will be very important. But obviously, I do think that Keon will come in for Monk at some point, just based off matchup personality for Wednesday. So if I'm Doug Christie, I think that's going to be the matchup where Monk will come in. Keon will come in for Monk. And then Monk will use that second quarter to really run the offense. So
who do you want Keegan guarding then?
I mean Keegan. I think Keegan should get the Jamal Murray assignment first.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then
we got MPJ.
And then MPJ is.
It's got to be Levine, maybe.
Levine has to be. Yeah, Levine.
Can't put DeMar on MPJ.
Yeah, you can't.
And DeMar guards Gordon.
But Gordon might not be there. So who would else? Who would? Would it be? Does Christian Brown start? He's been playing.
Christian Brown's been playing incredible. So
maybe Levine's on Christian Brown, and then DeMar might have to be on MPJ. Just do some nice closeouts.
He wants to shoot the ball.
So. It'll be interesting because that team really does.
They're a complete team.
They are a complete team, but they also tinker with their starting lineups. They are very.
Mike Malone is a good. Yeah,
he's a very good coach. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think there's an identity with this starting lineup that we have figured out yet, because they could just have a completely different offensive lineup that comes out. And it would just be very different. So it's going to depend. Also Julian Strother could start too. So that's another guy that could give us problems physically on the wing. So
I wish they see us on the second night of a back-to-back or something to give us a little extra edge, because this game is very important to us, and it's very important to them as well. But I also saw a stat that they're 11-2 on a second night of back-to-back. So wow. Denver just knows how to.
They're so good.
They're a championship caliber team. Yeah, they're playing great.
But I believe in the boys. The boys are hot. Boys are rolling. Let's keep it going.
This is the biggest test, though, by far.
Yeah.
Because if you could nitpick, Dallas was riddled with injuries, and so we played. Just the teams on our 4-game win streak, you could nitpick.
That's got to be the locker room speech, though. You guys win this game against Denver, you're turning heads around the league. I think so.
Everybody wakes up.
Without Sabonis, that's a head turner win.
Everybody wakes up. everybody puts the Kings on notice.
Oh no, if we win this game Wednesday, the Kings have arrived. They have arrived. That's without Sabonis.
Yep, I agree.
My friend, one of my best friends out there, Justin Carito, texted me and he said after the third game in a row, and he said, Are the Kings back? And I said, not yet. If we take care of business against Dallas and we beat Denver, then we are back.
We're back.
So we're not jumping to it yet.
We're excited for a 4-game win streak.
5 out of 6 bare minimum. 5 out of 6 bare minimum would be just fantastic. Assuming that you beat San Antonio on Friday.
Oh, dude. I cannot wait for that pod and that night. That's going to be very fun. But we gotta.
That's going to be the 40th episode too.
We're all going to be in attendance Friday.
We're all going to be there.
We're all going to be.
We have something planned outside the arena, so come find us, and you could be in one of our videos. But going back to the Denver game, I don't know what our past 10 game record is against them, but we've lost the past 2 this season. So we do not want them to sweep us.
We do match up pretty well with Denver, but that was
a different team though.
That was a different team. So
first time playing them with our new roster. So that's
it's going to be so interesting.
It's also hard for them to game plan though. You got to remember that too.
Yeah, they're not used
to our players, not used to the offense we're running, and how focused on Levine it is. So I think it'll kind of be at our advantage for a little bit.
Johnny, really quick, you just talk about what you were telling us about our star player being a shooter.
Oh, Zach LaVine.
Yeah. Can you just?
It's just nice.
Just let them know what you said.
It's just a nice change of pace to have our best player be a jump shooter for once, and and not someone who clanks threes often. we got a guy that can shoot a 3 at any point, and. Like I said earlier, I think it's helped everybody. I think it's not a coincidence that Keegan Murray's playing better. I think now that we have a star player that is a lights-out 3-point shooter, not just a casual 3-point shooter who's whipped. I think it's great. I think it's great. I think everyone loves it. Keegan's happy. It's just nice, guys. It's nice. I mean, look at the shots Levine is making. His highlights speak for himself.
Levine's been great. No, come on. Levine,
very worthy of the Western Conference Player of the Week.
Western Conference Player of the Week. He has solidified himself as our best player, star player. Our offense gravitates around him.
Yep.
He's him. Levine is him. All right.
No, I agree. No, all of us.
We were just all I'm saying, the guy before him was good. He was a good mid-range shooter, one of the clutch players. 3-point shot this year, not the best. And I'm just saying, it's a nice change of pace to have one of
he did have a game winner against Memphis, though, so...
He hasn't played very good in San Antonio.
That's nice. I mean, for a snake, that's pretty nice.
Oh, my God.
I'm very excited for the next episode because we'll be previewing the Spurs episode, and that's where we'll get into some conversation. So I'm going to save it for then.
And then Friday's episode will be good, too.
Oh, yeah. Friday is going to be a party. We're going to have lots of people in the room for that. But before we go, I have to ask you boys, who on the Sacramento Kings do we need to rally behind in order to get the win in Denver with the low altitude, with no oxygen? Who is going to be our star player, and who...
Johnny, go first.
Who's taking us to the promised land?
I think the team has to play defense. Number one. Our best scorer, I think, has to be Malik Monk.
I
like it.
We know how much Jokic struggles to guard the pick and roll. I think we're going to abuse that pick and roll. We all know Monk. Jonas sets a great screen for Monk. They have a great pick and roll game.
They actually did it really well tonight.
They did it really well. I think that's going to be one of our main offensive plays when we go against Denver. And I think Monk is going to feast on the pick and roll. So I think Monk's going to be our leading scorer on Wednesday.
You know what, Johnny? I was going to say somebody else, but after hearing you talk about it,
excellent analysis, Johnny. You swayed him.
I would agree.
That's got to be a focal point.
I think Malik Monk is the X factor for Wednesday's game. So
Jokic can't move his feet.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, dude.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I got
I think that's going to be some excellent two-man game. I think it's going to result in a lot of points, but for me, we haven't seen it. I mean, that's a lie. We have seen it kind of recently, but I think DeMar is going to come ready.
Oof.
DeMar is not.
Man's always ready.
He's not going to lace up his shoes, and he's going to be ready. He's going to get there. He's going to get to his spots, and then he's going to get Mike Malone pissed. He's going to get him rattled. Mike Malone's going to be very upset.
See,
does Mike Malone get ejected on Wednesday?
Dude, I think Mike Malone will get heated.
Something like that. But yeah, see, that's who I was going to go with at first. But like I said, I mean, there's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer.
We need them both to go off.
Yeah,
honestly, if both of them get like 25 plus, like
we need Doug Christie to coach his ass off because Mike Malone, man,
he's a good coach.
Can't let him play chess. Cannot let him play chess.
He's a good coach.
One could say this game Wednesday might be the biggest game of the year.
He's an NBA champion for a reason.
This game Wednesday.
This sways everything for the momentum, for the standings wise.
This game Wednesday can change the most momentum on the Kings this season. I think for the better.
I will be locked in.
I'm locked in. I'm excited.
I might call up Southwest, book a flight. I might have to be there.
Oh my gosh!
I might have to join the flight with you.
We might have to go
and join the Mile High Club. You might have to join the Mile High Club on the way to Denver.
With that being said, thank you so much for watching the Kang Gang Pod.
4 games
in a row. Let's make it 5
in a row.
And one last thing before we depart. We just
depart to Denver.
Depart. We just put up our Kang Gang tournament bracket challenge. So if you've not registered,
DM us on Instagram.
DM us on Instagram.
We'll send you the invite. I think we're up to almost 15 people already. Wow. So that's great. It's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a fun March.
I'm hyped.
I'm ready.
Did you guys see who joined? The local guy.
The local guy.
I saw that.
Yeah,
he's a college basketball guru.
I know. I texted him. I said we got the biggest college scout joining this. Oh, good luck to everyone else.
Yeah, shout out to Arby's.
Local guy wants appearance number 2.
You know that Drew is just ready to just give out NIL deals to Arby's to people. That's all I'm saying. He's ready. He's ready. He's seeing the talent. He's looking at what NIL deal can I get to make sure that people are sponsors of Arby's. That's
why he's tuning in. That's why he knows so much about college.
That's why he's tuning in.
And we have a new addition. The first place winner also get a free oil change at RT's Auto Body.
That's right.
So we actually got that solidified.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did. Thank you
free
to
oil change. Full synthetic.
All the way to Gilroy too.
Yeah, so Gilroy. It's quite the drive, but it's worth it.
It's worth it.
One more thing before we head out. Happy birthday to Shahab Monferred. Shout out to Penny. Happy birthday to Penny. We love you.
Love you, Penny.
Shahab, my goat.
And also, happy late birthday to Baresi.
Shout out to Baresi.
And then one more. Happy birthday to David Valdez. All listeners to the Kang Gang Pod, we love you so much.
Yes, sir, David. Yes, sir.
Have a wonderful night.
4s.